Lights are off. Toyota Camry is off the racing surface. Let's get ready to go. 16 laps left in the Coke Zero Sugar 400, and away we go. Keselowski and Cindric.
All the shoving, all the pushing that we've seen so far is going to be nothing compared to what we're going to see in the next 16 laps.
Riding with Joey Logano. Michael McDowell up ahead. He's led 25 laps tonight. Second only to the man who is following him. Apparently race control not all that thrilled with the 2 and the 6. That restart is under review. For the man third back on the high line, Kyle Busch, it has been 45 starts. Worldwide Technology Raceway back to 2023 since he has seen the checkered flag first. Could he get it tonight and vault his way into the playoffs? There's a penalty to Brad Keselowski. The night has gone away from the RFK man.
And remember the rule. The control car, he has to leave first in the restart zone. The 2, he was the leader of the race, so he has to launch first. Brad Keselowski clearly gets the launch.
So the 2's controlling the race. Once he gets past the first line, Jeff, he has the option to fire. And basically the 6 of Brad Keselowski is just trying to time it, right? He's just trying to leave with the 2. It seems very clear to me if you look at this. Brad, the orange car on the right there. He's accelerating. The 2 isn't going. I mean, it looks pretty clear that the 6 accelerates first.
Yeah, and the 2 has from the time he gets into that box to that last line to go. Let's hear what they have to say.
I definitely went after him. He got hit by the 5 and spun the tires. Yep, they're gonna, hopefully they look at that.
So the defense is that, hey, it looks like I'm accelerating because I am, but that doesn't mean that the 2 isn't on the gas. See,
right.
Brad can hear that. He hears the 2 accelerate, so he goes. He's claiming the 5 hits and spins the rear tires. Up for NASCAR to decide.
Inside the final 13 laps. Austin Cindric at the head of the pack. Larson in search of his first win here and first top 5 is well positioned in second, and Michael McDowell in that 34 on the low line. He wants another win here at the World Center of Racing to put himself in the playoffs.
6 hand out the window. I think he's decided now he has a service penalty. He does. He moves left. Now it's racing at the front. A crushing blow from the 6th will be discussed this week for sure. Brad feels like he's in the right. There'll be a lot of people looking at the data between the 2 and the 6, but either way, mid-race, NASCAR's made the call.
The man who started from the pole position and led an all front row motorsports front row sweep. McDowell is on that low line. He's getting pushed by Logano and gets that 34 front row car in front.
We talked about the pushers are going to get more aggressive, and we saw it right there. Look at this outside lane. Josh Berry's trying to get it working. Got a lot of cars with him.
Got some help from Alex Bowman and Justin Haley and Chris Buescher. There might be life in that top line.
Big run right there. That middle lane got checked up. They had to lift for just a moment, maybe some contact.
Here comes Berry and Larson pops out. So too does Cindric. They go to that high side. Kyle Larson goes back to the middle ahead of Kyle Busch. Look at the spread here with 11 to go, coming to 10.
So now 3 wide. If you're in row 2, row 3, what do you do? How do you break out of this? The only thing you can do is push the guy in front of you. That's why it's going to get more aggressively. The only way you can separate yourself in your lane is to be a better pusher.
And in this very camera shot, you're looking at 3 guys across there that are all trying to race their way into the playoffs.
And McDowell can actually be dragging his brake a little bit right here to stay latched up to the 22. See the fire come out of the 22 pipes? He lifted getting into the corner to make sure he didn't spin him out.
Tyler Reddick is tucked in the middle there in that aqua-colored car, that Money Lion Toyota, right behind his teammate Bubba Wallace. Wallace now 18 behind on the playoff points standings. Can he push his way further forward over these closing 8 laps coming up?
Oh, they got together in 3.
Whoa! McDowell goes up high. Larson is in it. Reddick's in it. Logano, Wallace, Haley.
That all started in turn 3. Cindric tried to lift to prevent it from happening, but he did not lift quick enough.
It's the second big one of the night. Larson will be left waiting and wanting that top 5 again. McDowell went for a wild ride. Let's have a listen to his radio.
Okay, fine. That was uncalled for. Well, that was super uncalled for. Yeah, I don't get it at all.
Well, we talked about it. It's 9 to go. And the aggression level is through the roof.
Joey Logano, who led 34 laps tonight, his Coke Zero Sugar 400 is over.
Watch right here. Watch the 2 car. All this was off of turn 4. All right, so now they're going down the front straightaway. Watch the pipes on the 2 car. He sees it starting to happen. McDowell pulls up in front of him. A push from Barry. Tries to get to the outside, lifts right there, and still contact. And then, look at this.
Whoa. And Michael McDowell, who knows what it's like to have a massive crash at a high-speed track, got away with that one.
See the fire come out of the pipes of the 2 car? He was being pushed by the 4. He knew he had too much speed. He was doing all he could to prevent it, but it just could not get it slowed down. You see the additional aerodynamic devices that were applied on the cars this week to prevent the cars from getting in the air.
Absolutely. It's impossible to know exactly what part or piece, but clearly the 34 was on his way upside down and came back onto its tires. The work by NASCAR. Look at this right here. Nowhere to go, nothing to do.
Go for Ricky
that
Stenhouse.
extra work by NASCAR helping. This is the concern, right? When you're hit with another car, when the 22 makes contact, the 34 instantly goes in the air. And if this car continues to tumble, it's the 22, 23 down the line, but it comes back, I say onto the tire, onto the wall actually, and then makes contact with the tires. You see Bubba Wallace in it, the 45 of Reddick in it. Both 2311 cars.
This is the view from Kyle Busch.
One of the worst wrecks I've ever seen. Ricky Craven at Talladega. Spun, car got in the air, and he went into the catch fence. This car of McDowell's comes back down and gets into the wall.
And there are cars involved, drivers involved there that have had terrific nights. But it is over. And look at how fortunate Michael McDowell was. Here's the view from Chris Buescher.
That's just amazing. I mean, it doesn't even look, I mean, it's 3,500 pounds plus of the 34 car. At these speeds, it flies in the air like a Matchbox car.
It doesn't get any less graphic, does it?
No, it does not. And again, Cindric gets into the back of the 34 and starts all this, but when you see the fire out of the pipes, that's him lifting out of the throttle. And he knew he was trying to prevent it, but he just had too much speed and didn't lift soon enough.
There's about 14 cars involved in this second big one here tonight. And for some drivers, maybe just maybe that moment, their playoff chances evaporated. Bubba Wallace was in it. He's come back to pit road. Had the 2311 crew check it, do some minor repairs, and away they go. For Michael McDowell, the night's over. Fortunately, that car did not fly any further or roll, and it came back down. Larson was in the middle of it.
Well, we talked about the safety innovations of this car and exactly all the work NASCAR's done to keep the car on the ground. Well, let's take a look at our Toyota virtual car, and we'll kind of go through the pieces and parts. There are the flaps on the hood to let the pressure out from underneath the hood. There's also the flaps on the roof to slow the airspeed down. What's new for this vehicle that we currently race is that green cable right there is connected to another flap underneath the car on the diffuser. It makes a tremendous amount of downforce going forward, but when it gets up in the air, it actually can act like a wing. So the right side flap, when it opens, it pulls a pin and releases the flap back on the diffuser. It all looks great, but how does it look when things go bad? Well, let's turn the air on in our wind tunnel and take a look at this. So we'll take our Toyota, we're gonna spin it around, and as we spin it, you see all the flaps open, and you see that red light. That's kind of that high pressure, right? That is where high-speed air is hitting those flaps, and that is slowing that airspeed down. Remember, how does a wing work? The air over the top of the wing is faster than the air underneath, and it lifts up. Well, check this out right here. The 34 looks good. He's on the ground. It's the contact from the 22 right there. The flaps open like you would expect to keep it pinned on the ground. The concern is the additional contact. Watch this 22. Sends this car into the air. But right here, the roof flap is open. That's slowing the air down on the roof of this car just enough to change the momentum from up to down. And you have to wonder about that new right side window rail that goes down that whole right side A-post, making that roof flap even more efficient, a 15 to 20% improvement. It's impossible to know what it would be without it. What we can't say for sure is with it, the 34 car stayed on the ground and didn't get up, or didn't stay on the ground, but kept from going completely upside down.
And the important thing to add to that is that was an implementation in less than the last 7 days after Corey LaJoie went at Michigan. So NASCAR acted swiftly.
There's a good look at that right rail, Lee. I'm sorry, but you see the one on the left and the one on the right. That's new. So this one over here on the right side is new. It used to only have one on the left. The combination of two, a big advantage. And when I talked to NASCAR, they said it's that long sideways slide that lets a car go up. If they spin quick, the kind of air doesn't have a chance to lift the car, but that long sideways slide, almost exactly like the 34 was doing.
And all of the crew chiefs, they took NASCAR's numbers, right, from the testing at the R&D center,